In this video, I'm going to rate every single BTO project offered in February 2026. To make it more objective, I will be using a rating system based on each project's location, the potential resale value in the area, the starting asking price, the number of nearby schools, and available amenities. But before we dive into the details, let me first explain how my rating system works. There are several criteria. For locations, I'm giving 5 stars if you can travel to the CBD area within 30 minutes by public transportation and the nearest train station is less than a 10 minutes walk away. However, if the train station is a little bit further and requires more walking or need a bus feeder, then I will give it 4 stars. The difference moving forward is that I will give 0.5 deduction if the nearest train station is an LRT station instead of MRT. The next criteria I'm using is the resale value of a 4-room flat in the area based on recent historical transaction. So this is not based on the potential resale value later on, but more on recent historical transaction. If it's more than $900,000, I will give it 5 stars. If it's between 800 to 900, I will give it 4 stars, and so forth and so on. The next criteria I'm using is the estimated starting price of a 4-room flat. Obviously, the cheaper, the better. If it's under $350,000, I will give it 5 stars. But if the starting price for a 4-room flat is beyond $550,000, then I will give it 1 star. Because this video was created before HDB officially launched the February BTO, I will just use an estimate. The next criteria is the number of nearby schools. Now, this one is a little bit tricky because the BTO hasn't been completed yet. We can't really use the MOE school finder. Hence, I'm going to just rate based on the number of schools shown on the HDB map. So again, it's not based on how many schools within 2-kilometer radius, but rather just like whatever is displayed on the HDB map. To simplify, I'm not going to take into consideration whether a particular school is famous or not. And then the next one is rating the amenities. This is also a little bit tricky. I decided to just be subjective on this one because it is very difficult if you want to count based on the number of hawker center, shops, mall, parks, etc. Why? Because it also depends on the size, distance, etc. So I'll just be subjective on this one. Ideally, we would want to also use the estimated waiting time for these BTOs to be built. Unfortunately, we do not know this information right now, and we will only know after the project are fully launched in February. If you would like to see the final rating after we have all the information from HDB, comment down below and give a thumbs up to this video. Now let's talk about Bukit Merah BTO. In terms of location, I will give this project 5 stars because it is quite near to the CBD area. If we look at the map, it is also about 350 meters from Redhill MRT station, so definitely within walking distance. And then in terms of average resale price, definitely this location is very premium. You can rest assured that most likely you will be able to sell above $1 million after MOP later on, right? Because even the prices right now is already astonishing. And then regarding estimated starting price for a 4-room flat here, I think we can refer to the previous BTO launch because it also has a launch at Bukit Merah area, so pretty nearby this location. Assuming the price is more or less the same, then I will give 1 star for the estimated starting price because indeed this Bukit Merah BTO will be quite pricey. And then in terms of amenities, I will give it 5 stars because it has a lot of amenities surrounding the area. So even though the facilities on site is only a preschool and a residence network center, but then again, this location, it's easy enough for you to go to shops nearby the area or just take a bus or take the MRT to get more amenities. So definitely 5 stars for amenities. In terms of number of schools, I will give it 2 stars. So if we average the score for Bukit Merah BTO, the average is 3.6 out of 5 scales. Okay, now let's talk about Sembawang Drive BTO. In terms of location, I would give it 2 stars because it is within 1 hour to CBD area. However, it is not within walking distance to any MRT station right now. So I will give it 2 stars. In terms of average resale price, the resale price of a 4-room flat around the area is about like 600,000 something. But then again, these flats are kind of old. Right now, the average resale price would be like 2 stars. And then the next one we need to consider is the estimated starting price. So for this, we can refer to Sembawang Beacon that was launched in July 2025 because the location is quite near. At that time, Sembawang Beacon was launched under $350,000. So hopefully the pricing would be more or less the same. So I will give it 5 star for estimated starting price. Now regarding amenities, honestly, this place as it is right now is kind of remote. It's far from MRT station, and then surrounding the area is just like empty plots right now. But having said that, the caveat is there's the Sembawang shipyard transformation plan in the future, right? But that one, the timeline can still move around. So for now, I will give the amenities 1 star. However, if indeed the Sembawang shipyard transformation really push through, then probably it will bring like new MRT station and more amenities to the area. But then again, to be fair, we score them as it is right now. And then the next one is for number of schools. I will give it 2 stars based on the number of schools here. And if we average all the numbers, the average is 2.4 out of 5 scales for Sembawang Drive BTO. Now let's talk about the other Sembawang BTO, which is Sembawang Admiralty Lane BTO. Because the location of these 2 plots are pretty much close to one another, it is only separated by a park. Hence, the rating is going to be pretty similar in terms of location, average resale price, estimated starting price, etc. I would say that the key difference would be on amenities, because for this BTO, Sembawang Admiralty Lane, it has more on-site facilities because it will have a preschool, an eating house, mini mart, and several shops. So I would give this BTO 2 stars in terms of amenities. But the rest of other criteria will be the same with the other BTO project. With that, the average score is 2.6 out of 5 scales for this BTO. Now let's talk about Tampines Central BTO. So there are 2 projects in Tampines. I'm currently talking about the project that is closer to the MRT station. So if we look at Google Map, this particular project is about 650 meters away from Tampines MRT station. So it's still within walking distance, and then it's under 1 hour to CBD area. So this project gets 3 stars in terms of location. And then in terms of the average resale price, according to statistic, this area already selling close to $800,000 for a very old HDB. So because this one is new, right? So I will just give it 4 star in terms of average resale price. And then the next one regarding estimated starting price. So if we see past launches around the area, I think unfortunately this one probably would be a little bit pricey, so I will just give it 2 stars. And then next, regarding amenities, I will give it 4 stars because even though the area is very far from CBD, but then again, within walking distance of this BTO location, there are a lot of amenities, several malls, and then our Tampines hub is also nearby. So indeed, the location has a lot of amenities, so I will give it 4 stars. And then regarding number of schools, when I look at the map and then I count the number of schools, right? Apparently this area has quite a lot of schools, so I'll just give it 5 stars based on our criteria. The average score for Tampines Central BTO is 3.6 out of 5 scale, which is quite high. Apparently, between Bukit Merah and Tampines Central is neck and neck. Okay, next, let's talk about the other Tampines BTO, which is Tampines Avenue BTO. In terms of location, I will give this project 2 stars. It is still within 1 hour to the CBD area, but then again, it is not within walking distance to any MRT station. So it's 2 stars based on our criteria. However, I just want to point it out that there are quite a lot of buses that pass through this BTO plot. So I think if you do live here, it wouldn't be so inconvenient for you to travel because it is still quite easy to reach public transportation. And then next one, regarding average resale price, I will give it 3 stars based on the statistic around the area. Indeed, because it is further away from MRT station, then the selling price is relatively cheaper versus the other Tampines location. And then in terms of estimated starting price, now this is where it might get controversial because I'm guessing the estimated starting price would not be that much of a difference versus the other Tampines site. Most likely Tampines Avenue would be a standard BTO, which means that it will get less subsidy, whereas the Tampines Central most likely would be a plus, which means that they get more subsidy. But that would mean the Tampines Avenue starting price might be on the higher end because it is getting less subsidy. So I will give it 2 stars. I could be wrong, so that's why comment down below if you want me to do another rating update after we get all the information from HDB after they already start launching the project itself. And then next, regarding amenities, I will give this project 3 stars because it is further away from malls, etc. There's not much within walking distance, but it is still convenient to reach amenities, so I'll just give it 3 stars. And then in terms of number of schools, again, it's also 5 because there are quite a lot of school options around the area, interestingly. The average score for Tampines Avenue BTO is 3.0 out of 5 scale. Next, we have Toa Payoh BTO. In terms of location, based on the matrix that we already defined as criteria, this project is 2 stars in terms of location because even though it is relatively near to the CBD area, but then again, it's not within walking distance to any MRT station, so it gets 2 stars. Now let's talk about the average resale price for a 4-room flat. So when I look at HDB past transaction, I can only find transaction for like old flats around the area, so it's 700 something. But then again, if we consider the age, right, I think this project deserves 4 stars in terms of average resale price. This is just like a judgment call from my end. And then the next one is for estimated starting price. Now this project is going to be pricey. So I'm giving it 1 star because the nearby resale transaction is high, and then past BTO launches in Toa Payoh also sold at a high starting price. So I think the estimated starting price deserves 1 star for Toa Payoh because it's going to be expensive. Now in terms of amenities, there's not much within walking distance, but having said that, you can just take bus to Toa Payoh town, so it will be easy for you to get amenities, so I'll give it 3 stars. And then in terms of number of schools, I'll give this project 3 stars. So all in all, the average score for Toa Payoh BTO is 2.6 out of 5 scales. I'm sure a lot of you are curious to see the summary of how all of these project scores stacked up against one another, so here is the combined table. Now you might be wondering, where's the ranking for SBF? Well, I cannot make such a video right now because SBF is not yet announced by HDB, so we don't know what are the exact locations and projects for SBF, so I can't do it right now. But at least we can see for the BTO lineup, the project with the highest score is Bukit Merah and Tampines Central with 3.6 out of 5 scales. Personally, I'm not surprised that Bukit Merah got quite a high number, but I wasn't expecting Tampines Central to have the exact same score, so that's interesting. But let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to know which project I would personally apply to if I'm on the market for a BTO, check out my other videos because I will discuss it in my exclusive members only video. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!